Wanted to start with the outlook. They're projecting revenue growth of 30% plus for this year, which is a marked decline from the 47% it saw in 2020 and the 45% growth it saw this quarter. Cause for concern?
No, I don't think so at all. I think you really have to dig into these numbers to decipher and understand exactly the quarter and the year end that Palantir had. We strongly disagree with the top line headline that the company missed. When you really look at the numbers and you look at what the company has done year over year, 1.1 billion in revenue for 2020, up 47%, 322 million for Q4, up 40%, and the company forecasted for Q1 21, 45% year over year. So, those are robust numbers. As far as the guidance going forward, I do think there was an overall disappointment on the street that they didn't raise guidance. But keep in mind, they did not lower guidance. They kept that guidance in line at 30%. And when you dig a little bit deeper and you try to decipher the numbers, realize that the company gave a 5-year outlook on revenue where they put a $4 billion revenue target for 2025, which implies sustained revenue growth for 30% over the next 5 years. But if you take into account the existing contracts that they have at the end of 2020, they already had 2.8 billion in existing contracts. And you take the revenue growth of 40% in 2020, simply do the math. I think they're in a good position to significantly outperform guidance going forward. So we're not at all concerned about those numbers, about the guidance actually.
What about whether they're poised to outperform great expectations? The stock really has doubled in the more than 7 months since it went public more than quadrupled since it went public via direct listing. It's been a hot target on some of the Reddit chat boards and a focus for some of the retail investors. Has this influenced your thinking or your positioning on the stock?
No, not really. We look at this on a fundamental basis. As far as the consensus on Reddit or the participation and the buying that came into the company, I think it's kind of in line with other big data analytics and cybersecurity companies that we look at. And when you look at those multiples, I think they're in line. I think an important thing to really point to is the adjusted operating income. The consensus was 48 million. The company came in at 104 million. This is a 116% increase above consensus. And then if you go further and you strip out the one-time expenses relating to Palantir's uplist, they actually earned 6 cents versus the 2 cent consensus. So in our mind, the way we look at this, we look at this as a big earnings beat. And we maintain a very bullish posture on the company.
Roger, where do you stand on the question of concentration of big clients, particularly government-related clients, and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think, again, when you look at these numbers in the year end, revenue from new customers grew at over 300% in 2020, while revenue concentrations from the top 20 clients actually dropped. So you really have a broadening client base. Then when you add into the equation that they did 1.1 billion off only 139 customers, this contract that they inked with IBM is major, because you're talking about increasing direct sales force by over 10x to 4,500 sales reps in over 180 countries. That diversity is going to continue to expand. And we think the revenue concentration will continue to dissipate.
Still, it gets back to that stock move, Roger. It's trading at what, 48, 49 times sales? So it's going to have a lot more 40% plus revenue growth quarter. Do you think it can measure up? Are you nervous about any of the price action?
No, I'm not nervous at all, actually. I think the action in the stock, is a culmination of, I agree with you, being priced for perfection. Secondly, we have a lockup coming off in a couple of days. The stock has made a parabolic move. I think it's only right to see some profit taking here. I think there's probably also some shorts coming in ahead of the lockup coming off. But I think once this time period and this overhang of shares kind of dissipates in the market and gets absorbed, and we go back to the key underlying story represented in Palantir, I think the growth prospects are huge.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.